everyone, and welcome back to the Dwarven Tavern. I am Dr. Jeff Goins, and I've got some really exciting news for you, from me to you, from Mongoose to me to you. And what we have here is I've got a stack of brand new books to review. Well, 2022, it's not brand new, but it's new to me, and it might be new to you. This goes for $60, $59.99, and it's the Traveller Core Rulebook update. This book, I'm gonna go through it pretty deeply. I heard that there's a brand new algorithm. There's a brand new thing on YouTube that it's been announced that more people watch YouTube on their TVs than on their phones, which is great news for me because my videos are longer, and because I do reviews kind of out of the box, sometimes out of the box. This is largely out of the box, but sometimes out of the box, brand new. Sometimes I've seen them, sometimes I haven't. Most of the time I haven't. I just open them up and give you my kind of like reaction to it. I kind of dig reaction videos, but this is a review of the update, and I want to make it a longer video, so I'll definitely delineate the different sections. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 chapters in the core rulebook update, and I will go over each one. I'll try not to say too much. The introduction, of course, is not considered, but it talks about things. And I think the main takeaway that I've gotten from this is that it's been presented in a new way and had new sensibilities added, if you want to call them sensibilities. So it's added a lot of neat things, and new developments for the game. So I'll just get into it right here. So, first off, it's in the introduction. It gives a number of campaign ideas, which I think is cool. If you want to start your own science fiction campaign and you don't know quite where to begin, I mean, there's so many different things you can do with sci-fi, right? Especially Traveller, because Traveller is not a horribly limited game, as you probably know if you're interested in Traveller at all. And so with the campaign ideas here on page 4, it says the trader campaign, where you can have traders. The military campaign, of course. I had a friend who every single scenario he ran ended with a guerrilla strike, much like the end of every James Bond movie, where the RAS comes in, or the SAS come in and defeat the bad guys en masse. It's like, why didn't you lead with that? Anyway, the Explorer campaign, da 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 da, right? And then the Traveller campaign, which is a little bit of everything according to this, but it follows the Third Imperium and blah blah blah. All of the Traveller mercenary elements and so forth that is included with all the other books that I adore. So then it gives a suggestion of further reading, such as the Traveller Companion, High Guard, Third Imperium, Behind the Claw, Central Supply Catalog. All of those are great books. I recommend I just got the robot handbook, and it's freaking cool. So it goes over the game conventions, and I'm not talking about Gen Con or Dragon Con. I'm talking about a discussion of terminology such as 1D, 2D, 1D plus 3, or 2D plus 3, 3D plus minus 2, and so forth and so on. It just gives you, it delineates how to roll the dice, what the dice means, what the terminology means. 1D is to roll a die, a single die, six-sided. Traveler's all about six-sided dice. A D3 means it's a half a D6, so you roll a D6. 1 and 2 is 1. 3 and 4 is 2. 5 and 6 is 3. And so forth. A D66 is a special thing in Traveler. I did a review on a couple of D66 books that a third party developer put out, and it's just kind of like Traveler's version of percentile dice. You've got a D6 is the basically the tens, and another D6 is the ones, and you've got 10 through 60 and 1 through 6 for each of those, and so that allows you to get a larger number of rolls and possibility rolls and checks, and all the terminology is discussed, and it's presented in a different way than it did in the first book before the update, and it makes it. I think their goal was to make it easier to read, easier to get through. It talks about tech levels, and it presents them in a really easy to read way. That's my main takeaway from this. Is tech levels are the same from TL0, which is primitive, no technology, and only the simplest of tools and principles, Earth Stone Age, all the way up to High Stellar, which is tech level 15, which is the black globe generators and new synthetic anagathics and so forth. Then before that is tech level 14 with average stellar fusion weapons, flying cities, jump 5, and so forth. So, and again, always with Traveler, just like with math, there is no theoretical limit, the upper limit. You can have tech level 55 societies somewhere out there that, doing their thing. So, and a good dungeon mastering advice or refereeing advice. I'm always a dungeon master since first edition D&D. Is that you always want to give your players some goodies to keep them interested without without I don't want to say breaking the game, because we've tried several things with Traveler to break it, and it is largely unbreakable. So the the second chapter, I started with the first chapter, and the introduction is really the first chapter because it's got a lot of good ideas. Is Traveler Creation, which runs through the entire process of Traveler Creation. Here on page 12 and 13, it's got a really nice graphic. And then on the next pages, 2 pages, which would be page 14 and 15, technically, it doesn't have page numbers on it, but it's a flowchart on where to start. And it's got the little Traveler Dorito sailing through the thing. I wouldn't say that the book doesn't look like it's been dumbed down. I really don't like it when companies dumb down their work to appeal to, because half of everybody is below average intelligence, right? However, it's just presented to be accessible to as many people as possible, and I think that is far more important and far more desirable. So the Traveler Creation, it goes over everything: aging, injuries, all of the different careers, presents it in a nice way. I mean, I think it's a major improvement, and I think that's my main takeaway from this update, is that it's an improvement on the formatting. So I mean, because I don't know if you've ever played or looked at Traveler 5, which is it's crazy as far as complexity goes. It's not too bad. I mean, if you got your if you don't mind reading, which books, reading kind of go hand in hand, right? So it talks about the skill packages, and again, it does it all in a very the illustrations are great, like the Vargur here on page 54. The Vargur is my favorite race. I don't know why. Yes, I do. I love dogs. I love cats too, but the Aslan are kind of dicks. But I mean, not as bad as the Kukri. Kukri are freaking awful. Wanting to eliminate all of the meat eaters, all carnivores. And then it goes over things like skills and tasks is another chapter. Yeah, skills and tasks on begin on page 58, and it goes through all the skills and tasks and what the opposed checks, multiple tasks, task chains, time frames for tasks. All of that stuff is delineated very nicely. And then it's got the each of the skills, like admin. This skill covers bureaucracies and administration of all sorts, including the navigation of bureaucratic obstacles or disasters. It also covers tracking inventories, ship manifests, and other records. So if you have skills in admin, then you basically are qualified to be an administrator of various things. And the other thing too is that the levels of expertise. One is from what I've read. I don't know if it says it in here, but I've said it. I've seen it in other sources. Is that a skill level of 1 is the equivalent of like a bachelor's degree in that subject. It means you 1 degree in it basically, and a skill level of 4 is indicative of being like a grandmaster. Like, so the Grand Masters have a skill of 4, and then of course, as you go up, and again, there's no theoretical limit to it. There is to begin with, but because there is a limit to the number of skills that you could have when you first begin, and I will find that right now.
A few moments later.
At character creation, you can't exceed 4 for any skill level. In addition, your combined skills total cannot exceed 3 times your intelligence and education. And while that might seem limiting, considering that a skill level of 4 in anything is like all-star grandmaster, then if you've got a intelligence of 12 or 10, let's say, alone, that lets you have 30 skill levels in all of your things. 30 skill levels is tremendous. So I mean, considering it 4, you got to remember. So, So yeah, I think it's very cool. So melee, pilot, profession, science, blah blah blah, all the sciences, archaeology, astronomy, all the way to xenology, and you can get these skills with the different career paths that you may take. So yeah, then it goes to the combat, and everything is presented in a better format, I think. And it's got examples of various animals of alien worlds here on page 86, as you can see. Then it talks about the size of the beasts and what they do, or herbivore or herbivore, depends on if you're British or correct. It's got filter, herbivore, intermittent grazer, omnivore, gatherer, hunter, eater, carnivore, pouncer, chaser, trapper, and so forth. Then it's got some D66 rules for tables for allies and enemies, character quirks, experience. So then of course, the equipment chapter, the all important equipment that you have to have, such as the various types of armor. There's a few. The vac suits, the battle dress, all these beautiful, wonderful, lovely things, communications, equipment, computers and software. Computers and software is interesting because, and I've always had a hard time with reconciling computer technology with science fiction games, not just Traveler, but all sci-fi games, because our own technology with computers is so, it's like greenhouse effect with AI and all of the developments that are being made now. It's improving exponentially, to say the least. I mean, especially with like Grok 4 and various other AI programs. So it makes me wonder about, how computers are represented in sci-fi games. For example, let's see, the expert mimics skills. The expert package, you've got bandwidth, and bandwidth score represents the processing power a computer requires in order to run it. At any one time, a computer can run a number of software packages whose combined bandwidth does not exceed its processing score. So the bandwidth of expert is 1, 2, or 3, and the tech levels are 11, 12, and 13. The greatest of which, the 13, is a traveler using expert may make skill checks as if they had the skill at the software's bandwidth -1. Only int and edu based checks. Of course, you can't have an expert runner computer, right? Or an expert not tire. It can show you how, but anyway. Only int and edu based checks can be attempted. If a traveler already has the skill, then the expert gains die modifier +1 to their check. So, I mean, yeah, but tech level 13 could give you +2. That would be like, I guess it's okay. It still seems low to me, especially with like database tech level 7, which is, I think that's supposedly where we are now in this society in IRL. Because according to this, a tech level 14, right, computer has 5 processing slots, meaning that you could run a 2 and a 3 1.2 and 1.3 program. Whereas, I've got an old Dell G7 7700, and it's circling the drain right now because it keeps overheating. But in the day, I could run 3 or 4 high-end programs and not break a sweat. So I don't know how accurate. I mean, for rules systems, it's fine, because you want your players to play the game and not rely on their computers in game, I guess. So that's just a bone of contention that because it seems like when and at the time the rules were written, computer technology was pretty much how they presented it. But things have changed. I mean, even since 2022, when this was made, computer technology has exploded. I mean, it has exploded. So that's fine. It's part of the game. So if you want to, change that, and that's the thing that's really cool about Traveller, is that you can change and add things at your leisure. Then it has things like the habitat module, breathing masks, filter masks, planetology toolkits, cybernetic toolkits, and so forth, which it gives you, like, for example, let's go with the physical science toolkit. This toolkit provides instrument and analytic tools for the performance of the science skills specialties of chemistry and physics. These tools including sampling equipment, chemical analysis tools, sensors to detect electromagnetic or gravitic radiation, and ultrasensitive measurement equipment. The toolkit can help specialize analyze unknown minerals, physical phenomenon, and the basic composition and properties of everything from atoms to stars. That's a decent range. The toolkit can also aid science specialties of astronomy and planetology, providing a +1 die modifier in tasks which directly involve the measurement of physical and chemical properties. So there you have it, and that's what those do. The toolkits aid in your skills. You don't have to have, it's got that shows the equipment, but it doesn't go into exacting detail, which is okay. Some people would like to see more. I would like to know exactly what. Yeah, I just like that. All the gadgetry and stuff is something that I think is very cool. And I would like to see more, even though it doesn't hurt the game, that it's just a generalized. It's a generalized description, a generalized illustration and description of what is in each toolkit. You don't have to know if you have any 10 millimeter sockets, which, as everyone knows, they ghost very easily, and you can't have too many screwdrivers. I was cleaning up my workshop the other day and found like 25 screwdrivers, and I may have a problem. So when we get into weapons, we have a lovely illustration. Staff is kind of weird, but stun sticks, rapiers, improvised weapons, and Lord knows, you crash land in that planet with nothing but sticks and stones and lead pipes everywhere. You gotta improvise. And I mean, the illustrations are lovely. I really like them, and they're super cool. So I'm really happy with the redo. Then it goes through explosives, goes through vehicles. The cargo lifter here on page 145. is very familiar. And then the Air Wrath, the ATV, and so forth and so on. All presented lovely, lovely, lovely. The gun skiff. Oh, yeah, that's the skiff that Luke Skywalker. Here on page 150 and 151, it's got the ship's roster sheet, the character sheet for your vehicle, basically, which is very cool. And you can go to Mongoose Publishing and download the sheets to print out for much of this. And it discusses jump travel, remote operations, spacecraft operations, sensors, and it gives you plenty of information to play the game, that's important because there have been some games where it gives you almost enough information, but then you got to buy the other book. That is not the case here. It gives you all the information you need to know to play the game, and then the other books like in this stack that I've got here, the Starship Operators Manual is the one I have. I just received. The Starship Operation Manual gives you even more information to fine tune and if you want to concentrate on starship operations instead of just having it to the side as a thing that happens while your characters are playing. Then the operator's manual gives you, if the starship is what the game is all about, right? So I think that's an important distinction. It's got critical hits for ships, beam lasers, missile racks, missile launchers, spacecraft scale weapons, and so forth. Double and triple turrets, missile combat, goes through all of the things that you would expect it to. Then it has a chapter on spacecraft construction. And here on page 177 is a design checklist from everything from creating a hull to allocating cargo space and down to finalizing the design. So then it has some lovely hull configurations like the Space 1999 boat, the Angry Dorito, and which is really a good design. You might see it everywhere, and there's a reason that you see it everywhere. You see it everywhere because it's a good design. It's aerodynamic. It's space worthy, obviously, kind of important. And then it has the taper from all directions, gives it a way for all of the weapons, or as many weapons as possible, to bring to bear on a single target in front of you, and to the side, because it's tapered this way as well as that way as well as this way. So it's good. It's good. Then it goes over all of the rules for creating your spacecraft, which, that's one of the first things you do. I mean, that's just what you do. That's what you do. When you get a new game, you say, I want to make a spaceship. But you're playing Dungeons and Dragons. I still want to make a spaceship. Then we have a chapter on common spacecraft, which starts out with the Scout, the Seeker mining ship, with lovely illustrations for the Scout. Then you've got Far Traders and just the Safari ship, System Defense boat, the Yacht. No, it's pronounced Yacht. Which I wouldn't mind having a freaking house like that, shaped like that. The Lab ship, which is always cool. Patrol Corvette. It's got a decent number of common ships. The slow boat, the slow pinnace, the modular cutter, which allows you to put different things in it. And then you have the chapter on one of my favorite subjects, psionics. And psionics, you know, as you know, powers of the mind, and it has a whole list of psionic abilities. It's not a very large list. It's got the, but I'm really hoping they come out with a psionics book later on. I would love to see that personally, to really delve into it. And there's stuff online that you can get, but some of it, you know, is not. I don't like balance. I'll say that right off the bat, but because I think that you know, the real world is not balanced, and if everything is super balanced, then it's not very realistic, is it? So then it's got a chapter on trade, a chapter on universe creation with all of the meanings for the world profiles. It's just so cool. I don't have enough good things to say about it. It's so freaking cool. It talks about population, law level, blah, blah, blah. The list goes on to an extent. And by blah, 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 I don't mean it's boring at all. I mean it's very comprehensive. Because when I hear comprehensive, I go blah, blah, blah. I don't mean that in a bad way. Travel codes and so forth, and then the index. So, in my 5-axe review, and I just give 5 axes to the game I review, because if it's not worth 5 axes, I don't review it, and I don't bother with it, because I'm not to be bothered with crap anymore. And this certainly isn't. It is the Traveller Core Rulebook Update 2022. It retails for $60, 5 axes. It's a must-have because it's the new game. So I mean, you can still use the old one, the old 2nd edition rules, but this one is better. And so yeah, there it is. So with that being said, get a copy of this and get one for all your friends that play, because you are very obviously wealthy enough to do so, right? Or have your wealthy friend get you a copy when they get their own. Find somebody wealthy and play the game. I think that's what I'm getting at. So, this is Free Trade of Beowulf calling anyone. Mayday, mayday. We are under attack. Main drive is gone. Turret number 1 is not responding. Mayday. Losing cabin pressure fast. Calling anyone. Please help. This is Free Trade of Beowulf. Mayday. Yeah. So, it could be a trap. On behalf of the entire cast and crew of the Dwarven Tavern, I am Dr. Jeff Goins, wishing for you to want for nothing but adventure. At first I feared it, then I charged. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time, which will be very soon.